Hello? Yeah. Hold on one second. Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Hello World. I think I may have a special guest for you right now. In the meantime, I hope that you had a great day. I hope everything is going well with you. So just hold on for 1 second and let's see if we can get them. Hello? Hi. Are you ready? Okay, I will introduce you in one moment and I'll put you on speaker, okay? Okay, guys. So just now, I have Yvonne on the phone, and she will be talking to us about real estate. Yvonne, talk to everybody. Say hello.
Hello, everyone. How are you doing?
Good, good, good. It's good to have you. Thank you. Everybody, if you watched the interview that I did with GSNJ Radio, on their show, we were talking about various things. Hey, Jenny, that's my co-host right there, Jenny. Holla. So if you saw that, this is Yvonne, the person that I was mentioning how she supported me even after I, left my childhood church and everything. So Yvonne is someone very special to me, and she happens to know a lot about real estate. If any of you are on here wanting to know anything about real estate, I'm just going to give her the floor right now. So just tell them what you know, Yvonne.
Well, it's basically what do they want to know? I mean, if you want to buy a home, you want to know about foreclosure, apartments, and how you get them, and what's going on right now.
So how about this? Is this a buyer's market or a seller's market?
It's a buyer's market right now.
Okay. And how do you figure that to be the case?
Well, because of everything that's going on now, and you see all the property that's being sold, you saw all the buildings that's going up. Mm-hmm. Now, all these new developments is a buyer's market.
Okay. Are prices pretty good? Are interest rates pretty good?
I mean, everything is pretty good. Everything is going to be going up because I feel it's based on the economy. Mm-hmm. But it's a good time to buy right now. It's a very good time to buy. That's why it's a buyer's market.
Yeah. Okay. So what is your specialty? Because I know real estate can go like to commercial, residential. So like, what is your specialty?
I'm into residential.
Okay.
Don't know too much about commercial, but some of my other coworkers, they're into commercial property. I'm just into real estate.
Okay. Oh, hold on for 1 second. So before I continue with Yvonne, I just want to remind everybody to subscribe to the channel, comment below if you want to talk about anything. If you ever want to call in, the number is always available to you, 201-540-9104. Anyway, now let's get back to Yvonne and what she's talking about with her being a residential. Now, are you zoned to be like, oh yeah, and don't forget to ring that bell. And also, join me. I just shouted out Jenny. We have a talk show. It's called the Jenny and Joy Show. I'll get more into that later. But let's get back to what we were just saying as far as with the residential. So tell us a little bit more about that. Like, are you only specifically zoned for any particular section, or can you like sell anywhere?
I'm basically, I can sell anything in the state of New Jersey.
Okay.
What I'm really interested in doing, talking to people about first-time home buying. Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the people that's interested in buying homes, they don't really have the full scope of what it is.
Right.
And when you're buying a new home, you have to get pre-qualified. And when you do that, you get pre-qualified. I know some people probably think that, people are pulling their legs. No, you have to be pre-qualified because that gives the realtor an estimate of how much house you can buy. Mm-hmm. Because we can't just go out and say, I want a house. And you say, I see this house, I want a $300,000 house.
Right.
And that's not possible because you have to find out from a banker how much money are they willing to give you to buy a house, to get this loan, and then now how much you have to contribute to it. And it also has to do with your credit. There's a lot of things that play into that, and I think some people misunderstand the whole process. It's good to be pre-qualified. Sometimes it's best to go to a mortgage company than a bank, because the bank is set up to do certain things, and if you don't fit into their criteria, then you're not going to get a home. But if you go to a mortgage company, they have so many things to offer you that they are able to give you more options than a bank.
Okay. So like, let's just say if your credit score was like a 600 and you wanted to buy like a home, a 2 or 3 family home, would you recommend them also going the route of going to a mortgage and like a mortgage banker? And then like, how do you know if they're a good mortgage banker versus someone that's pulling your leg? How would you know that?
Well, basically that's why you need a realtor, because a realtor is connected to several people. See, because what the mortgage people do, they come to us and talk to us about things, and we make a decision. Well, I think this guy is good for this person or that person. They give us the squeal of what they have to offer. They also, can help you with your credit. 600, 600 is not good.
Right.
But a mortgage banker can work some numbers, but what he probably would do, or they would do with you, is work with you to get your credit up to see why you at a 6. You have to know why you at a 6. Do you have too much debt to ratio? Or do you have too many credit cards? Like, what happened? You have something from a long time ago that you need to settle. What they would try to do is get your credit up so that you would get a good mortgage and your interest rate won't be so high. Because at a 6, you're going to have a high interest rate.
So how quickly can a bad score turn into a good score if you're like trying to pursue buying a home? Or would this also, and the second part of that question, would this also affect if you're trying to rent as well? Or like if you had a rent to buy situation?
A rent to buy, I really don't suggest that, because when you're renting to buy, that's you dealing with the owner.
Okay.
Now, if something happened to you or something happened to the owner, then you lost money. So it's best anytime you're dealing with a big lump sum of money such as that, you should go to a bank or a mortgage company so that everything is watched, it's numbered, it's put down on paper. When you do that with an owner, I just think it's just bad. That's a bad vibe for me. I don't suggest it. I don't get involved in it. I don't offer that option to anybody, because as soon as it goes wrong, then they're going to blame the realtor.
Right, because it's like you think that you're in cahoots and everything.
Exactly.
I have a horror story for you. So a friend of mine just recently told me that I guess a broker, and you have to tell me what the difference between a broker is and a realtor. So the broker pretty much got them into a living arrangement with the homeowner and kind of was trying to do like some deal where you pay them and then they pay the owner or something. Like my personal instinct was that the broker and the homeowner kind of were in cahoots and trying to like make money and not really pay whatever they're supposed to pay. Like, is that ethical for a broker to do, or is that perfectly okay?
Well, first of all, a broker is he's the ones, like, I work with a broker. When you, as a real estate person, you have to work with a broker. I can't just work for anybody. My name is in a broker's office. It is registered at his office, at their company, whichever company it is. I don't know what type of deal that was, so I can't really speak on it because I don't know what had transpired. Right. There are things that can happen. It's just like if I was, because see, sometimes the owners hire me to fill the apartment. So it could, I have to work with the owner, but I also have to work with the client that's going to get the apartment.
Right.
So, I mean, it's not that they're in cahoots because you're trying to make two people happy. You're trying to make a good situation for both parties. So you want to make sure that the personalities match, that they're going to come in there and pay the rent. Because no owner wants nobody that's going to play games.
Right,
you understand what I'm saying? And I'm quite sure some people that are looking for an apartment don't want an owner that's going to play games.
Right.
So it's, you just have to ask the right questions to both parties, what you're looking for. You try not to get with too many owners that have bad vibes too, because there are some owners that have bad vibes.
Mm-hmm.
They're slumlords. So you just have to be very careful when you're dealing with these people and what the expectation is of the owner and the client. And then sometimes even for myself, I have to be careful when I'm dealing with owners, because if they have certain type of vibes that I choose not to work with, I'm not going to work with them.
Right.
Because sometimes they will tell you one thing, and then when they get a tenant, it's a whole other option.
And that makes you look bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it could be different. And then this tenant is locked in for a whole year. So, you just have to be very careful, ask the right questions, and you have to really, so that you can get the answers that you're really looking for.
Mm-hmm. Right. So, okay. So we took care of the rental part. Now, how about this? So another story. I know of a friend of mine who sold a condo, and the buyer never got a never got a home inspection. And I'm like, what? Why would you not get a home inspection? Like, that's part of the process. So, like, then they tried to go back after that person to try to sue them for something that was going on in the building, but had nothing to do with the unit. Long story short, they won the case. But it was still like, now they have to pay lawyer fees and all that other stuff. So what would you advise a person who was purchasing a home about the homeowners, not the homeowner's insurance, but the home, oh Lord, you know what I just said, the home inspection.
That's a home inspection is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't really know what you're buying. You're looking at a building, and everything always looks good to the eye.
Right.
But it's also, you've got to have somebody that specializes in certain things to look at the home, to make sure it's worth it, to make sure everything is up to par, because you want your plumbing, you want the house to be structured soundly. You don't want to be buying something and you move in and they got termites.
Mm.
So that's what a home inspection does. It checks for so many things. And some people don't want to use it because they have to pay for it out of pocket.
Right.
But it's an investment to your property. Why I don't understand why somebody will buy a home without an inspection. And as a realtor, it's my duty to tell the person that's buying it, like, look, this is what you need to do. And I will have an inspector that says, look, I have 3 people, choose which one you want to use, because that you need to do that. If they choose to not want to do it, then it could turn into a big problem. And I think I would really try to get out of that deal, because
you would.
I don't want somebody that's not going to be sound about doing. If I'm giving you advice, because this is my specialty,
mm-hmm.
if I'm giving you advice about something, I expect you to take it as a client. If you don't take it, and then later on down the line you try to sue me or mess up my name, that's not a good thing for me, because my name is very important to me.
Exactly. But it's like,
but some people don't want to do what they're supposed to do, and you need a home inspection. That's number one. If you're buying property, you need to get a home inspection.
Right. And it's so funny you say that, because I posted something on Instagram today, in case nobody knows or don't realize, but there's an Instagram, it's under BTD LLC. But I posted something about integrity today, how trends die, but integrity lasts forever. So I like the fact that you said that. So anybody out there, if you're looking for a home, Yvonne is your girl. I will put her information inside the contents of the YouTube. If you're looking to buy a home rental, she can rent or sell you anything in New Jersey. So let's continue this conversation, Yvonne. Have you ever had any horror stories that you want to share or anything like that?
I've had some horror stories with some renters. Sometimes when you're renting to people, excuse me, sometimes they think the process is easy, but it's really not. Mm-hmm. We have to get a background check on those people. Like, now I'm trying to get somebody an apartment, and they have some records from many, many years ago, but some owners don't understand that. And me as an owner too, it depends. I don't know you, okay? And if I want to rent my apartment to you, and you have a previous record, I know there's a thing about forgiving, but if you're living in my house, I don't know what you're capable of. Right. You understand what I'm saying? And in previous years, I have overlooked problems for people, and I've let people move into my house to come to find out that the people that I rented to was dating someone that was the FBI was looking for this guy.
Oh, wow.
So, and I didn't run a background check on him, because it's the girl, one of the tenants that I rented to, it was her boyfriend.
Okay.
So one morning I'm going outside, and I see all this FBI cars on my block.
Oh,
they all in front of my door with guns and everything.
Wow.
I'm sitting here, and my husband goes down in the basement. They're in the basement. They like everywhere. And I didn't even know. And I was going out that morning to walk my dog. And it was very frightening to witness this. And then when I went outside, I looked this guy in his face. I didn't say anything to him because the man said, don't say nothing to him. Mm-hmm. But it was frightening to know that this guy was living in my house.
Right. But I mean, like you said, though,
not supposed to be there.
But like you said, though, you did the due diligence because it was the girl who had the lease. So, like, that wasn't your fault. People have guests all the time, and you don't know who, what each person may be up to, So.
That's true. That's so true. But, it's just sometimes you just got to be very careful because you don't know the expectation of man.
Right.
Man or woman. You know what I'm saying? It's just a lot of things going on out there. And people don't understand when they're renting, we have to do a background check.
Right.
We have to because, it's just like if you had your home, you want to know what this person has, is, or about. It's not to me so much about credit as most because I feel a lot of people have bad credit. Since 2007 when everything went downward, a lot of people lost a lot of things. Credit went bad. They lost homes. So many things have happened. So now sometimes it's hard trying to get some of these people apartments. And they don't understand the process. Getting the background check. Oh, my credit's not good. I'm not this. I'm not that. But to me, it's not really so much about the credit. It's about the integrity of a person. If you live somewhere and you get the owner on rent, it's hard to rent. Give somebody, say, well, I'm going to recommend this person and speak up for them when you have, because they feel like this. If you dupe your last owner, you're going to dupe me. What makes me different?
Mm-hmm. And it's you can't weigh out if they've changed their ways. It'd be hard to weigh that out. So like, that's another thing, people, just remember, this conversation speaks volumes about integrity. So like, if you mess up your integrity, like you can always make money. Money is whatever. But if you mess up your integrity, you could mess up the whole rest of your life. Because like she's just saying now, like, people have a biased opinion about you, about like whether you'll pay on time or whether you end up ruining their house. So it's very important that you have good integrity and good intentions. And people can sniff that out most of the times. If you're a really bad person, people can sniff that out. So you might as well try to start getting that stuff in order now, because if you're going to buy a home, it can go as deep as buying a home. People will look into your background history and just see you as a number and a piece of paper. They won't need to see your personality because they see on paper that you did something or whatever, and they're going to judge you based on that. So remember, your integrity is so important. Try to hold on to that more than anything else. Without it, you're pretty much, this is what I'm gathering. You're pretty much
Mhm.
screwing yourself, So be careful what you do. Be careful to sow the seeds that you sow. Be careful the beds that you lay in, because you never know. Even the association that you have, be careful of that, because that can ruin your integrity, and you could have been the innocent person all along. But if you're in that situation and you just happen to be the bystander, innocent or not, now you have a bad integrity based off of the actions of someone else that you were surrounded by. So go ahead, Yvonne. I'm sorry I had to go off on that tangent.
I know you're telling the truth, because
Mhm.
and that's what it really is about. And Jersey City is just an up and coming, town, and it's getting more difficult to get apartments. We ain't even talking houses. We talking about just getting apartments. It's just so much going on in Jersey City, and and sometimes I think when people get apartments, or if you have an issue, you should be able to want to talk to the owner and say, "Listen, I know I messed up." Be honest.
Right.
If you messed up, because we all messed up on something.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? But if you be more honest about it, it's not so much with the owner, with the realtor, so that the realtor is feel that you're sincere, then they can speak on your behalf.
Right.
Because when you're sincere, it comes through. And if you're not, it doesn't. But some people are in such need for places, and then people want, they want a nice apartment in a nice neighborhood, and they want to pay $1,200 for a 2-bedroom or 3-bedroom. That's impossible.
Wow.
It's impossible. To live in a decent neighborhood, you got to pay decent money.
Right.
That's why, it's difficult. It's hard, and I get it. But if you put you have to grind, and what's more important than having a roof over your head?
Peace of mind. Hey, peace of mind. True.
Yeah, peace of mind. You got to know what's priority in your life. It's not partying. It's not doing other things. It's about keeping a roof over your head, because we all need some place to stay. We all need some place to lay our head.
Right.
And we want it in a warm, safe place. So, I just tell people to just, try to do, in order to, be better, we got to figure out how to get our credit in a better place.
Right. What are some ways that people can, do you know of any ways that people can repair their credit if they are having issues? Do you have any recommendations?
One thing to start getting your credit right is to pay your bills.
Mm-hmm.
You pay your bills on time. You can also get your report once a year for free, so that you can see freecredit.com to see what's on it. You need to know what's on your credit report, because you can't fix what you don't know you have.
Right.
So I think every year you should run your report, see what's on it, see what derogatory remarks you have on there, and make it right. If you got Verizon on there, and you ain't paid no phone bill, and you've been goofing off, and you done jerked them and did something, whatever, and what's my, go and make that right, because that's going to be on there forever. Right. Now, if somebody see a charge on there that you made it right, they say, oh, well, they're going to ask you, what's this here? Why is this here? Did you make that right? And you can say, yes, I did. It took me a minute, but, I messed up a little bit, and now I'm trying to repair myself and get myself on the right track. Once people see that, then they understand. But if they see that you're not trying to make it right nowhere, don't nobody want you in the apartment, because they see you're not paying your bills. You're not going to pay your rent.
Right.
They learn all that together. So, just work on getting your credit up by paying your bills on time. I said, get a freecreditreport.com to see what's going on, mm-hmm. so that you know what you need to fix. They do have other people out there fixing it. If you're going to do that, I suggest that you be careful when picking somebody, because this person have your social. You don't want your social in the hands of somebody that you really know nothing about, mm-hmm. or that you don't trust. You want to go through somebody reputable, somebody else that have done it, and you want to do it on those types of lines, because this is your credit.
Right.
So it's just using common sense with that.
So would it take all right, so let's just say I have a 600. How quickly can I turn that around to a 7 or 720? Because I know 720 is a basically like really good credit scores for like a person in the market for buying something.
It's going to take a minute to get there, but I don't know why. But like I said, you have to look at your credit report and see why you're at a 6.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why you would be at a 6. It could be you pay your bills late all the time. It could be that you have credit cards, because if they give you a credit card for 1,000, but you spend 1,000, you're only allowed to do 30% of that. If you're over that on all your credit bills, then that's a derogatory mark.
Okay.
So it's just knowing what's required of you as a person when it comes to credit, and see how they grade it, and what they're grading and how everything is done. And once you figure that out, it's just you taking the proper precautions to make it right. But you got to know what it is. If you're at a 600, you have to know what it is. I can't tell you how long it's going to take you to get to a 720 because I don't know the basic issues of the problem.
Oh, okay, so it all depends on the issue. So like if it's something minor, does that like okay, let's just say if it's like one credit card bill that's outrageous that drove your thing down, like that's simple, or is that still something hard?
That's simple, because like I said, if you have a credit card that's 1,000 and you're at $1,000, you spent more than 30%. That's gonna ding you like 6 points, 7 points, 10 points. I don't know how many points it is exactly, but it dings you. So if you have quite a few that's out of that bracket,
mm-hmm.
that can bring your score very low. If you apply for credit cards all the time, that can bring your credit very low. If you have late payments a lot, that can bring your credit card very low.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on it's your spending habit. It's really a copy of your spending habits, your credit cards. It tells everything about you.
Right.
If you got 1,000 credit cards from a store, that says a lot about you. That says, I like to shop a lot. So it's just you figuring out what you need to do as an individual to get your credit where it needs to be.
Okay.
Some of it can be simple and some of it can be difficult.
How long does it take for a house to close typically?
Nowadays it can take weeks.
Okay.
It could take a week to a month or longer. It depends on any difficulties with the house,
mm-hmm.
with the loan, with the other people involved. Things can be held up with you not having the proper documents that you need to close. Mm-hmm. The payments and everything has to be done. You have to have a lawyer. Like, you have to have all these things in place. So it can take up into, it depends. If you have cash on hand, it can close very fast.
Mm-hmm.
If you're doing a loan, that's what takes the process when it's a loan. But if you have cash out, if your house is $100,000 and you have $100,000 cash plus closing fees, you can close in a week.
Wow. Would you recommend buying a house with cash or taking a loan?
If you have it, I mean, if you buy a house in cash, I mean, when you buy a house in cash, the government is going to be on you for the simple fact he wants to know where all this money came from.
Exactly, because they ain't get it.
Yeah, you got to show him where you got $100,000 from. You got to have your documents in order
mm-hmm.
as to where all this money came from, because he's on you. He's in your business.
Mm. Mm.
So, if you have a loan, it's just a longer process.
Right.
But now today it's difficult because you have to put money down. Then I remember when they used to just give you straight, like, they used to give you money to put down on your home. Now with the banks, you have to put something down. You have to put 3 to 5% if you're doing FHA, and if you're doing Oh, I done lost it just that quick, and I left my mind. It's 10% the other way.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not a complicated process. If that's what you want to do, you just have to put your ducks in a row,
mm-hmm.
and everything can happen for you. You know, it's just you knowing what you want, knowing how much house you can get, knowing your credit. You know, speaking to the loan person that you're dealing with and asking the right questions so that you can get the right answers.
Okay. Like, what questions would you recommend someone ask if they're in the process of already, like, you know, buying a home or wanting to start the process, but just don't know where to go or how to start?
See you later. Well, what I think they should, where you get a realtor,
mm-hmm.
the realtor, because see, as a realtor, we're connected to banks. We're more connected to the mortgage brokers.
Mm-hmm.
Mortgage brokers are people that can give you the loan right off the top. You could come in with bad credit, they can still give you the loan. The right questions to ask a loan person is, what's the expectation on this? If I pay my loan, if I pay a certain amount, how would that affect my credit? What's the expectation? How long, if I pay this much money on my loan, how would that affect it? How would that affect it in the end? If I'm taking out a 30-year, can I take out a 15? These are things you need to ask, and you need to know your stability on your job too.
Mm.
You know, how much money do you have saved? I don't have 6 months saved. Do you suggest I move forward? Or how would you move forward? Because these are things that they require of you now.
Okay.
And there's ways that they can fix it that can make it happen for you. But that's why you take it's a process. Some people just want to get in and run. And you're going to be with this home for a long time. You know, so you want to take your time and you don't want to rush into it. You know, I know you want to get your home and you're enthusiastic about getting a home, but you want to take your process, because some people are so in a rush that, you know, they want to rush into something, and it's not a good thing.
Right. And it's like you end up neglecting the home inspection, and then you're like, you sold me this. No.
And so many other things you neglect because you're so in a rush, and then you get there. You even have a home inspection, but if you're not there and understanding the process of things, because you know, it's just like when I first bought my home, I did not know a lot of things, but now that I own my home, I know exactly what I want when I go for my next home.
Okay.
You know, and it's just, I mean, and it's not any fault of anybody else's. It's just things that you learn as you go as a homeowner.
Right.
You know, so it's just a home buying process. This is the biggest item you will ever buy in your whole life. So I just think it's important that you take your time. Be cautious about everything.
Right.
You know, be cautious. Don't just want to run. Ask questions, because a realtor that don't want you to ask questions is not a good thing, because this is a big ticket item. So you should have a lot of questions. And if you don't, I mean, you just have to pray about it and figure out what questions do you need to ask. Your realtor will basically tell you certain things, but there's other things as a person that you might want to know for yourself. You know, that the realtor don't know you know, or basically a realtor will basically give you the basic things that you need regarding your home, which hopefully they will make sure that you're buying a home that's fit for you.
Right.
I wouldn't suggest a person buying a foreclosed home for their first home.
Why is that?
Because it has too much to work on. Foreclosed homes have a lot of work in them. You know, they have plumbing issues.
What if it's because the person just couldn't pay anymore, but the home is brand new or something?
Well, I haven't ran into one yet.
Okay.
I haven't ran into one yet, and a lot of them need a lot of fixing.
Okay.
So I won't suggest they do that because it's just too much work, and it's overwhelming for a first-time home buyer to get into knowing all the procedures of fixing a home. And that's how some of these contractors get you, because you have no idea what you're getting into.
Mm.
So you don't know what needs to be fixed. They can make it look good, but it's not right.
It's not fixed right, yeah.
Exactly.
And then
because,
they're gone and you're
and
stuck
they
with
get
another
so
bill.
enthusiastic about getting a house, and they're like, oh, give me all your money, and they didn't do anything that you required them, or they did anything guided by the laws of housing.
Mm.
So you just have to be very careful.
How long have you been in real estate?
I've been in real estate for about 10 years.
Wow. So you hear that, guys? She is a vet in this right now. She's got 10 years in, so she definitely knows what she is talking about. She definitely is a go-to person if you are in the process of looking to buy or rent in New Jersey. She has your back. As you can see, she is all about integrity, which is very important because you want your realtor to be able to be honest with you and to honestly tell you what, this may not be a good move, or be willing to walk away if they know it's something bad. Like if a realtor is willing to walk away because something is not bad, then obviously they have your back or they have good intentions for you. So those are the kind of people that you want. Yvonne has your back. Definitely make sure you look below after this video to see her information. If you are in the process of buying a home, renting, or know people that may be looking, refer her to them because at least you know. And of course, I know her too. So that tells a lot. That says a lot about her character, because you know what Be the Difference is all about. And we try our best to do things right and in decency. And if that's who I surround myself with, then, Yvonne is there. See, she's right here in the chat, guys. So definitely check her out. If anything else that you think is vital for us to know.
Just be vigilant and careful, and just trust your instinct. Trust your instinct. And if you want a home, get pre-qualified. For first-time home buyers, get pre-qualified so that the realtor can know exactly how much house to look for you. And it's very difficult trying to find homes. Some people think, it's easy. It's a very difficult process trying to find homes for a certain amount of money. Like it's just very difficult. It's very difficult trying to find, houses. I've been looking for a client right now for a while, and they've been approved for $250, and I haven't found anything.
Not in Jersey City. Not in Jersey City. I think $250.
Not in Jersey City, and not in other places neither, because sometimes it's just like the quality of homes is a buyer's market. So houses are not as cheap as people think they are. Jersey City is about the cheapest place you could buy it. Newark is the cheapest you could buy it. But, I ain't going to say I wouldn't sell you nothing in Newark. That depends on the individual.
Right.
But,
I didn't know that.
It's hard.
I didn't know Jersey City had cheaper homes. Wow.
It's cheaper than most other places.
Wow. What towns do you know of that are like really expensive? Like that are like, wow. Like you really have to have.
Town, Denver, up in those areas, very expensive. Very, very expensive. Like you can't even look up there because their houses start at $5.
What about Harrison, New Jersey?
Harrison, New Jersey. Harrison is It's a little more than Jersey City.
Mm-hmm.
They have some decent homes over there, but it's not that cheap either. It's not as expensive as Morristown, but it's expensive. But check this out: up in the Heights, they got $1 million houses up there,
and no parking. You could take that and go goodbye.
But let me tell you something. I don't get it because the Heights to me is no different than Jersey City.
It's not, but there's more space in Jersey City.
Same, but their houses are $1 million up there.
Wow. But they have no parking. The streets are like the width of a bicycle lane, and there's no parking. And you have no backyard. Wow.
Their houses up there is 5 and up.
Wow.
Up there, and up. That's Jersey City Heights.
And that's only at least 2 miles away from downtown Jersey City, guys.
Yeah.
It's Jersey not even City that Heights. Far. You can walk to Jersey City Heights.
It's very expensive up there. When I see some of the houses, and I'm like, wow, this is $500,000 or $1 million. And I'm just blown away, because you go in some of these houses and you see what's $1 million here?
So it don't even look like it's worth $1 million.
It don't, but you know what? But they're selling up there.
Who do you think are the targeted people to buy these homes? Because we all know that there's been an ongoing process of the tide is changing, where it used to be a lot of urban and now it's become a little bit more posh. Do you think that they're raising the prices up to get more of the urbanites out?
Well, I definitely can say gentrification is in process.
Mm-hmm.
And I just believe that most of our people has just given up. Because in Jersey City, we have so many foreclosed homes that it's just ridiculous. And what's sad about it is that, when I go to my people, they won't sell to me. But if a white person go up, and I hope I'm not offending anyone, but if a white person go up, they'd be quick to open their door. But they look at me as if I'm there to rob and steal from them. I'm here to help you and see if I can help you do something better. You giving your house to these people for $20,000, $30,000. Well, your house is worth more than that. You could sell it. If you're in foreclosure, there's processes that we have for you. And for me to talk to them, it seems like what. For me, I feel that they think I'm lying, but somebody give them $30,000 cash and they go.
That's not. The property is worth more than that.
It is. And I understand, people get in situations and they get a few dollars and they think it just clears everything. But it doesn't. It doesn't. And that's what's sad about it. It's just, gentrification is in full bloom, And our people have just given up.
Yep, they just took the money. They just took the money and left.
They took the money and left. And let me tell you something, that little bit of money is not going to help you.
Exactly.
It's not going to get you nowhere. $30,000, $50,000 is not a lot of money.
Not for if you're trying to relocate, because relocate. Okay, give them a breakdown. Give them a breakdown, because the number is a lot better than me. Give them a breakdown. If somebody did take a $50,000 buyout, what it would cost for them to relocate, to find a new place, whether it be a home or a rental, and then how much money do you think they'll have left over?
Well, $50,000 is not a lot of money. Okay, first of all, when you're in foreclosure, all right, somebody gives you $50,000, that foreclosure is still in your report. So nobody's going to rent to you because they think you're in foreclosure. If you didn't pay your mortgage, why are you going to pay your rent? So where are you going to move to? Because if somebody do decide to run a background check, they will see that. You can't get a mortgage from a bank because they see you in foreclosure. I had a friend of mine that was in foreclosure, and they needed a place, and I helped them find a place because they're decent people.
Mm-hmm.
I had to speak to the owner. I put my reputation on the line for them because I know them. And sometimes people just get in a bad spot.
Right.
But they were trying to buy, like, rent another house. They were trying to rent a house, not an apartment, but a house, a whole house. And I kept telling them, like, you just can't do that right now. It's just not going to happen. You have this on your report. They're going to ask me. I cannot lie to them.
Right.
You understand? I can just speak for myself as far as your reputation, your paycheck, all that comes with power. But nobody's going to rent a house to you. You have to try to go back to renting. Renting is something that even I end up getting them something to rent. They're still there, thank God. But it's going to be a minute before they can rent a house or buy a house because they didn't take the proper procedures that they should have done before they moved. They should have sold the house instead of just leaving it. Because when you leave a foreclosed property, that means that house is still on your credit. You didn't rectify the situation, so it's still foreclosed. If you sell it, then that means the foreclosure is done. That comes off your report. So you took the proper precautions to do what you need to do. But some people just up and leave and think that's going to be okay, and it's not. You need to rectify that foreclosure. And then you have to pay that foreclosure back. But if you sell it in a short sale, then you're free and clear of the debt. And some people don't understand that.
Mm-hmm.
When you just up and leave a property, that means that foreclosure is still on you. That debt for that house is still upon you.
Mm-hmm. What is a short sale? Explain to people what a short sale is, and if they would be a candidate for it, what the requirements are.
A short sale is a house that is you owe more on it than what it's worth.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what you do, the bank, you call the bank and you just stay in the house and then you just tell the bank, I want to sell it. Well, the bank will send you a notice and say, look, what do you want to do with the house? Do you want to sell it or what? Most people, they don't respond to the bank. They just up and leave after a certain time. But a short sale is when you sell the house, that means you're free and clear of that debt that the house was under. So you will go and maybe in a couple of years you can buy another house. But when you leave that foreclosed on your property, you haven't done anything. This is poor management.
How long do you have to own a short sale?
I don't understand that question. What's the question?
Well, like, okay, so let's just say you're an investor and you want to do a lot of short sales. How long do you have to own a property before you can do that?
Well, you have to be in foreclosure. When you're in foreclosure, that means you haven't paid your mortgage in some time.
Okay, so the only way you can do a short sale is if you're in foreclosure?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can only do a short sale if you're in foreclosure.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You haven't paid your mortgage in 3 or more months.
Okay. You hear that, people? So don't go, like, I remember there used to be some schemes going on, like back in the early 2000s, where people were selling short sales. They're like, oh, this is just a short sale. You can buy it, put the house in your name just so that they can get the credit for you. And somebody else was supposed to be paying the mortgage. And that was what they considered a short sale. But that really was the house was pretty much in foreclosure then, right?
Yeah, the house you haven't paid the mortgage on there for 3 or more months. So that's the bank can only offer you that. You can't offer that deal to the bank. The bank has to offer that to you.
Mm.
But if you haven't paid your mortgage in 3 or more months, the bank will offer that, will make that suggestion to you. They should.
Mm.
Unless they're going to, just take the house from you.
Wow.
But no banks want no houses because they have too many. The bank don't want the house. That's why they gave it, gave you the loan for it. They don't want to do that.
Are there ever any times where a bank is willing to get rid of a house for like, let's just say like $100 or $2, something like unimaginable?
Well, I've heard of an incident that happened like that in New York.
Wow.
Where the house was very decrepit. It wasn't worth anything. And the bank just told the people they can have it.
Wow.
Because at that point, like, it wasn't worth it to the bank. So they gave it back to the owners that you can have it. Because it was destroyed. It wasn't taken care of. It was falling apart. And the bank it would have cost too much for them to resalvage that. And then the area was a terrible area, very bad neighborhood. So for them to give them that house, it was nothing for them to lose because they would lose more money and fixing it up because the neighborhood, it was a bad neighborhood.
Mm.
And certain areas, if that neighborhood, you have a problem. If you buy properties in bad neighborhoods, you're gonna get tenants that breed that neighborhood.
Mm.
So you have to be careful on where you buy, what you buy.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes, it could be a good investment. It depends on you. When you buy these properties in these neighborhoods, you're doing your research. You have to really do your research on certain properties in certain areas.
Like, what would that mean? Like eventually it's going to get better and you can make a profit off of it?
Well, you would hope so.
Mm-hmm.
You would want to see what the neighborhood is like because the neighborhood breeds certain types of people. Now, if you see certain types of people in this neighborhood, then that's the only kind of tenant you want to get. Is buying this house worth that? Is it going to be really an investment for you, or are you going to end up paying more out for it because of the damages that the people do?
Oh,
I know a lady that bought a property in Jersey City, and it was foreclosed, and she bought it, fixed it up, but the turnaround is like every couple of months because the area just breeds bad tenants. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It just breeds bad tenants. There's a lot of drugs. There's a lot of shootings going on that block. So people don't stay there long. They say, "Oh, I'm not going to be here in an apartment long. I'm just coming here because the rent is $1,000. I'm just going to be here for a little while. I'm not paying no attention to these people. I'm going to be in and out of my apartment." But you fail to realize to go in, you got to pass the drug dealers. To come out, you got to pass them. So you got to deal with these people all the time. At nighttime, it's partying, drinking in your hallways, doing all of their stuff. So the turnaround is every few months. They fix up the apartment, then somebody break in and take it, or mess up the doors, mess up the front door. There's no locks on it. It's just, you just got to be careful where you buy a property because if it's a real bad neighborhood like Wickerson Avenue, mm-hmm. It's not a good investment to me because you're just going to breed what's in the neighborhood.
You ever think that's going to turn around?
I thought it would have. But the people around me are not afraid of the cops.
Oh, okay.
I think they seem to be more afraid of the Jews than the cops.
Wow.
And the funny thing about it, the Jewish people are not afraid of them.
Right. I don't think they're afraid of anything. And they're acidic Jews, people. They're acidic Jews. So if you know anything about their culture or their customs, they, walk fearlessly anywhere.
They sure do. I see them on Wilkinson Avenue, and I just thought it was just like a fish out of water. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And just to see the dynamics of things, it just was funny to me. Because I'm like, wow, they won't bend for us. They won't stop for us. They won't do nothing. And the kids come out and play, but our own kids don't want to come out and play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I was just like, wow, is this a bad dream or what? Because I'm just seeing the dynamics of things. And it's a shame that, you know, these different cultures have to come in to change, to make it better. Why do you think these cops are there?
Right. Because they've requested
in the neighborhood.
Well, you
they
know
haven't had them in our neighborhood forever, you know?
But I've recently saw a lot more people talking about, especially on Instagram, because that's where I get my news, right? So a lot of people are talking about the problems that African Americans are too used to the stigma of, if you say something, you're a snitch. Like, why is it a snitch if there's a problem and you need to report it so that it can be rectified? The less you talk about a problem, the more it can get hidden away, and therefore people can get away with doing whatever. But as soon as you address it, then the problems can go away and things can move forward progressively. And that's what it is. Like, the different cultures that are coming in, they're not afraid to say I'm snitching, because they don't consider it snitching. They're considering it as there's an issue.
Well, that's only in our neighborhood, Joy.
Huh?
That's only in our neighborhood.
I know. No. A lot of African American communities are like that, where it's the snitch thing, you know.
Yeah, it's a problem. It's just like they don't want to say nothing, but it's snitches get stitches.
Well, like, then you know what? You better stitch me up, because I'm calling the cops. I'll have them on speed dial real quick. I'll call the parking authority. Get out my driveway. I will call the cops. Get out my face. I don't care. They getting paid to do a job to protect and serve me. And if there's an issue or a problem, I'm going to call. I'm not going to make light of the situation. I'm going to call, because that makes the person know, if they're the perpetrator, they know that I can't go back into that area, because more than likely somebody, I can't identify who, but somebody is going to tell on me. You know what I mean? And more people need to think that way.
Yeah, I believe it. It's a cycle, man, and it's crazy.
Anything else you want to talk about?
Life, honey, life.
Life is beautiful. Life is good. And I'm learning more and more now that it's about what you make of it. I've never heard of anybody coming back from the dead to tell me exactly what happens afterwards. And the fact that, if everybody says that they believe in God, right? Whatever religion you are, if you say you believe in God, just know that you're breathing in and out, exhale and inhale is a gift, right? So if you follow those principles of whatever your religion is, and I'm sure each principle of each religion lines up to some type of, be good to each other, be kind, or whatever, right? If that's the principle that your religion is teaching you, then how come you're not living that? You need to live that more. Like, if you really, like, okay, let's just say Christianity, because I'm a Christian, right? So in Christianity, we're supposed to model our lives like Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was peaceful. Jesus Christ was loving and caring and compassionate. So if I'm a Christian, these are the characteristics that I should be displaying to others, right? And also with my life and enjoying the fact that he died on the cross for me, right? I should be enjoying the fact that I have freedom because of that. So how come we're not living in that more? You know what I'm saying? Like, the real purpose of life, you know?
It is. I don't understand why man does what he do. I just think, I don't understand it. I mean, we are supposed to be more loving to each other, especially in the world that we're in now. You see so much hatred in our community. You see what happened What's that town New Zealand?
Yeah.
You see that person had so much hate for another race. I don't understand why there's so much hate for another individual. Not even, we don't even have to go race wise. I'm just talking a whole other individual. Why do you have so much hate in your heart for any human being? I know sometimes we get mad at each other and we have issues with each other, but hate, like, I don't understand. We at a whole new level.
I can tell you, I can give you my personal opinion. So my personal opinion can go two ways. One, how the person was raised. Two, the influences that they're surrounded by. That is the person that you become. So if you were raised in chaos, then more than likely you're going to be chaotic. If you then go from from chaos, being raised in chaos, already chaotic, and then have a bunch of other people who are chaotic, and y'all get together, it's going to be a whole lot of hating. It's definitely going to be a whole lot of hating, because you're going to see other people get jealous of what they have and can't understand why they're smiling, and you want to make them join your group, right? You want to make them join your hate.
Hold on a second, Joy.
Yeah. You want to make them join your hate by doing whatever you need to do to make them be a part of you. So if that means ending their life, then that means that you've glorified yourself and now you've showed them that life was terrible, right? So I don't know, guys. Like, honestly, this whole idea of hate is something that I think can be self-inflicted, and also what you're practicing. You know what I mean? What are you practicing? Like, do you have any loving moments in your life? Do you have any goals that will help other people in this life? Like, because I think that has a lot to do with how you end up being. If you don't have many goals in life that will tell you, or that will push you into a direction of helping others, then yeah, I think that, that hate little thing might come up in you a little bit more, you know? So I think, honestly, we need to remember that people aren't just crazy by chance, by choice all the time, but all could be crazy by circumstances. And until we start addressing the things that we've gone through, then these things will continue to spiral out. And then people, it's easy to be negative versus positive. So if you're already in a negative surrounding, you will definitely not have a problem with joining someone else who's already depressed, right? You've already had a depressed situation. You're already in a depressed situation. You're already in a depressed circumstance. So therefore, staying in that is easier. But now when you have to fight to be happy, fight to be positive, fight to live, fight to love, fight to enjoy, just to fight to enjoy things, that right there is a struggle. So sometimes people would rather stay in what they know best than to struggle. And yes, people, we have to struggle for our happiness on a daily basis, because we have that inherent ability to be depressed into whatever society has taught us to be, right? So I think we should definitely think very wisely, think very closely about who we surround ourselves with, what we are entertaining in our minds, like the different things that are shooting at us all the time. We need to really like focus on the things that are more important, like family, love, care, consideration, compassion, all of the things that we that are not being advertised as much. But like, we here are trying to advertise that to you. Again, I want to remind you to like, subscribe, and definitely share. Turn on your notification bells, so that you can be a part of it. Also, I want to go back to telling you guys about the Jenny and Joy show. So basically, me and a friend of mine, Jenny, decided to do something to light up the mood on your Wednesdays. So like, if you're at lunch or whatever you're doing during the course of your day, come and join us around 2 o'clock. It's called the Jenny and Joy Show. You will have comedic relief and inspirational section. We give shout outs. We want you to participate. We want you to tell us different pranks that you may want to do. Hello.
It's Jenny.
Oh, hey guys, guess who's on the line right now? Hey Jenny, you're on.
Hey guys. Hold on, let me just shut this down because it's like feedbacking at me.
Oh, okay. I was just telling everybody to make sure that they like, subscribe, share onto the Jenny and Joy Show. If you want to see anything that you would like us to do, if you want us to shout you out, you definitely have to, let us know. We try to make the best of every situation so that, you have a nice break in the day. You still there, Jenny?
So, I'm here, but as you can tell, I have a little bit of a cold, but I just had to pop on for a second. Sorry, my son's yelling in the background. I have a great idea for a new segment.
Okay.
And I'm not telling you right now.
Oh, thank you.
I'm probably not going to tell you until after you find out on Wednesday what it is.
Cliffhanger. Love it.
So just get ready.
Thank you so much for calling me to get me all riled up.
That's my goal in life.
Well, I guess, guys, I'm going to let you guys go. I say thank you for joining us. And shout out to you, Combination 35. Thank you for joining in the chat. Thank you for spending time with us. Hope you were inspired by something. I hope you join us again. Hope you subscribe. And also, people, just remind you to have a beautiful day, a beautiful evening, to love, to share, to be one with self. But anyway, in any time. Oh, and just remember, Yvonne was on here. She was our real estate guru for the evening. I will have all of her information in the section below. Be sure to check her out if you are looking for a home or a rental. She can get you anything in New Jersey that fits your budget. And I'm sure she's got the connections to get you to a good mortgage person or whatever. But anyway, this is Joy signing out saying thank you again for tuning in and hello world. See you guys soon.